Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Sheep Get Sheared Podcast, home of people, politics, and popular culture. I'm your host, Austin Creed. My friends, I have something that I want to discuss with you today. You know, when I was a kid, I would often get in trouble for asking questions. I know people in my life who they ask the wrong question to the wrong person. I'm not saying they get whacked. We're not, necessarily. What I'm saying is there are questions that I have discovered in my life that maybe you have discovered in your life as well, that when you ask a certain question, you either A, get a grumpy answer, or B, people get uncomfortable, they get hostile, they get defensive. I firmly believe, as I'm not sure that you might, but something tells me that questions are the most dangerous thing you could ever do. I remember when I was in the military, I would ask questions about, okay, well, why do you want me to do this? Why do you want me to do that? Not that I would not do it, but I just wanted to know because I like to ask questions. So I would ask questions, and then I realized, wait a minute, other people have to feel the same way. Whether it's you ask someone a question and they think, wait a minute, hey, I don't want to answer that. Why do you need to know? Why are you asking all these dang questions? Ooh, why are you asking me these questions? I don't want to answer that. That's not cool. I'm convinced that questions are some of the most dangerous things you can ask, whether it's about the government, whether it's about someone else's personal life. Too many people want you to just go along with the program. They want you to just default to doing what they say because they say to do it, or because of some completely garbage, fake, synthetic reason that you know is probably a half-truth at best, but yet they still want you to do it. Let me ask you, what questions have you asked in your life that have really and then in return they've given you a response that shocked you, or maybe you got punished on the back end for asking, or they said, shh, you can't ask that question. That's not acceptable. We don't want to answer that. Because there's no way that I'm the only one that suffered this before. You know, as someone who likes to understand how the world works, I've seen other people also go on this journey of trying to see reality for what it truly is, instead of seeing the fake, garbage, gobbledygook fantasy land that we're given in our minds. Whether it's surrounding people, whether it's the political structure, or the people in the the popular culture. That's why I have those three sentiments on this show. That's why this show is centered around those three pillars, because that is where the big lies are saturated, and that is why questions are required. That's why on this show, questions are raised all the time. Not because necessarily the answers are important, but because the question in and of itself often triggers a response from someone that you may not expect. For example, let's ask a question about COVID. Oh, no, you can't do that. Okay, well, let me ask a question about the military-industrial complex in Ukraine. Oh, no, you can't ask that question. Austin, that's not okay. You can't ask that. Okay, well, let me ask about why family court likes to exploit men and treat them like slaves. Oh, no, can't ask that question. Okay, well, why can't I ask those questions? And those are just a couple that came into my head right now. The answer is, of course, because they don't want to give you an answer. They want you to just dummy up. They want you to just go do what they tell you to do, what they've conditioned you to do, and then move along. Oh, why should I accept someone's pronouns even though it makes absolutely no sense and they're only about 0.1% of the population? Oh, no, well, we can't do that. No, that's a bad question. Bad boy, bad. How dare you ask me a question? Why is it that so many of these people donate big money to the politicians in power, but yet then the politicians talk about taxing them and it doesn't happen? Oh, no. You can't ask that question. I'm trying to add a little levity because this conversation is really, it can get dark. I understand that. It can get uncomfortable. It can get dark. I get that. But I really want you to ask me questions, ask the world questions, because at the end of the day, this is your show. This is your show. I don't claim to know everything in the world, but I want to be able to give you what I never had. And that is the ability to voice your opinions and voice what is unpopular. Because make no mistake about it, there is no need for a, quote, safe space for people who are in the mainstream, like the LGBTQ people. They don't need a safe space. The whole world is their safe space. The whole Western world, more precisely, is their safe space. What about guys like us? What about gals like us? What about the silent majority, who when we want to talk, they say, hey, you, yeah, you, goofy, shut the hell up, we don't want to hear it. Hey, you Republican, hey, you conservative, we don't want to hear from you, you garbage. Hey, you manosphere guy, yeah, you red pill guy, yeah, shut the hell up, we don't want to hear it. What about that? Where's a safe space for that? When we want to have our, quote, safe space, we suddenly say, oh, no, that's toxic. You can't have that. No, you men just need to go back to work and provide for these women. And you women need to go back out there and try to be men, because that's what we want. We're the New World Order, and we approve this message. At the end of the day, when you start asking questions, you become a dangerous person, because you become an informed person. And informed people are not sheep. They can't be sheared. They have a hard time being slaughtered. And before you know it, you have become a dangerous person who's hard to control. When you know your rights, when you know what you're entitled to as an American, when you understand what you are owed, what you have earned in your life, you become a dangerous person. You don't become just another schmuck who's malleable, controllable, exploitable very easily. You know, I'm a pre-law guy, and I learn about the law all the time. I'm not an expert, but I learn about the Constitution, and people don't know their rights. And those will be exploited. If you think that because the cop has to read you over Miranda rights, or because they wear cameras. By the way, the feds don't wear cameras. FBI, Homeland Security, CIA, they don't wear cameras on them when they come and bust you up. ATF, they don't got cameras, GoPros on their chest like the beat cops do at your city. Just ask the guy who got lit up for talking junk about Joe Biden. But again, the media doesn't cover stuff like that because it doesn't fit the narrative. And then when you start to ask, wait a minute, why does the media only cover certain areas, and anybody who dares to be an actual journalist gets slandered and thrown out on their behind? Oh, no, bad boy, no, you can't ask that. No, how dare you? How dare you, sir? What, are you trying to break the law? Are you breaking your programming? Huh? That's what you're going to get. That is a response you're going to get from the people in power, because people in power don't like to be asked questions. They like to be said, yes, sir, no, sir. I learned that in the military. They don't like it when you ask questions. They want you to just do as you're told. Well, I wasn't very good at that. To be totally honest with you, I wasn't. I like to know what I'm doing before I do it. And hopefully you're the same way. I really hope that you, listening to the show, you like to ask questions. You like to understand how the world works, because if you don't, well, you're likely to get exploited. You're likely to get lined up for getting sheared and then getting thrown out in the cold again. And I really hope that that's not you. I really hope that you have the wherewithal to understand when you're being exploited and to know when they're saying, wait a minute, they're lining you up to get hurt. They're lining you up to get exploited. Well, what are you going to do? You're going to sit there and you're going to take it? Or are you going to say, wait, hold on a minute. I know my rights. I know what's going on. Is that what you're going to say? Because I hope so. I hope you say that you looked into this, you know X, Y, and Z, and you know that this is to be true because you've looked it up extensively. You don't need to go to college to get an education to know things. Now, there are certain degrees, of course, that you need if you want to be a doctor, a lawyer, whatever, physicist, whatever. But when it comes to knowing reality, when it comes to knowing what the hell is going on in the world, you don't need a degree to be educated. You don't need a degree to understand and follow the bouncing ball and following the bouncing law, the scandal and everything else. You have the power to ask any question you want that can make you dangerous. I hope that you know that. My friends, God bless you. God bless your families. God bless America. Never be afraid to ask questions because it will make you powerful. I'm out. Peace.